think I might have put the wrong person under the bus. Uh-oh.
And this is why we always say allegedly, because it's not definite.
Oh my God. I said the wrong person's name. No.
And hello there, all you Stay Tuners. Welcome back to another episode of Stay Tuned Sports. It's your good friend Jimbo here with our good buddy King.
Hey, how you doing?
So is that the North Jersey or South Jersey speech?
I don't know what that was. Hey, how you doing? Hey, oh, that's maybe Staten Island. I don't know. I don't know what that was. You know what's funny? I just kind of noticed it though, because we were, we doing our introductions, and what was it, a couple of weeks ago? You were telling me like, you feel like you might be a little soft on yours, like you come in a little soft. Yeah. You might want to be like, you got to be more bombastic. You got to really, you know what? You really need to take the opening. You need to attack it. You know what I mean? You really need to just kind of grab this opening like it's a woman flight attendant's ass, and you're
name redacted.
You just got to just right into it on an international flight and just be like, that's how you have to go ahead and tackle this opening for 60. Yeah, it was Brandon McManus. Not
name redacted.
You didn't even get the first name right.
No. I knew it was a Mick. That's all I knew.
This is going even worse.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I had it. Wow. Journalism.
We're still rookies, people.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, no, okay, so. Two women have filed a civil lawsuit in Florida accusing NFL kicker Brandon McManus of sexually assaulting them while they worked as flight attendants on the Jacksonville Jaguars transatlantic trip to London last year. The lawsuit, which was filed Friday and made available for the Duval County Circuit Court Public Records database on Tuesday, names McManus and the team as defendants and seeks in excess of $1 million in damages. The women, identified as Jane Doe number 1 and Jane Doe number 2, allege in court documents that McManus tried to kiss one of them and grinded and rubbed up against both of them while they were trying to perform their work responsibilities during the September 28th flight.
I don't know.
Mr. McManus, you are a kicker. I don't know. Did he confuse their legs for the uprights and was just trying to split the middle? I don't understand.
I mean, one, you know how tight the aisles are.
Well, I'm so glad you were going with the aisles on that one. I was unsure. I was unsure of where you were going with that. I'm very glad that we fixed that. I'm very glad we fixed that.
So the whole, grinding, whatever, was it a case of him walking up to the aisle to go to the bathroom or whatever and, bumped up against them or whatever? Because,
listen, that could be. That would be a legitimate excuse, I think, in that situation. Just like I was just trying to get to the bathroom, they were in the aisle, I tried to squeeze by, something like that. The kissing part makes it a little bit more...
Yeah.
That's, I'm sorry. I've never tried to walk by somebody and been like, oh, pardon me. Like, that's not, by the way, in case you wondered how sexy I am, that's how I kiss.
But why take almost a year to file this? Like, I would understand if it was like a 2-3 months, maybe
Jimbo.
PTSD or whatever. And also, so they said it's the kicker and the team they're suing?
Let me see. Yes. The McManus and the team are now. See, here's the thing. McManus is, I believe, on the Washington football team of Redskin Commanders right now. So he is not on the Jaguars. Now, this just seems like behavior that screams Dan Snyder, but he's not. I mean, he doesn't own Washington anymore, so
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Let's see. Tony Busby, the lawyer who represented 24 women who accused Deshaun Watson of sexual assault and harassment, said that he's the lead counsel representing the women. Busby wrote on social media that he and his clients attempted to resolve the matter without litigation. Our efforts at resolution were met with arrogance, ignorance, and stupidity, strikingly similar to how Deshaun Watson's team responded when we tried to resolve those cases. Pre-filing, Busby wrote on Instagram, the allegations made in the lawsuit are very serious. We made sure to fully vet them and speak with the witnesses before even taking the cases. Jaguars coach Doug Peterson said that he was not aware of the allegations until the lawsuit became public on Monday. So, again, this is going to be a case of he said, she said, they said, because, there's multiple here. It's going to be a case of, who were the witnesses? Where do they get them from? What do they say happened? Who saw what, when, where, how, and why?
And I'm sure there's got to be cameras on the planes, right?
I don't know.
I mean, I haven't been on a plane since I was
People
little.
people have cell phones now, so
That's
I
true,
mean,
yeah.
but I don't know, because usually these flights, are chartered. They're NFL, the NFL charters the flights. So I don't believe there's cameras on airplanes. I don't know. I don't know for a fact. I'm not going to say yes or no, but I don't believe there are. I haven't seen too much. Really, the only footage you ever see from planes are people's fucking cell phone footage.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
But so I mean, I'll kind of take my statement back a little bit there, because that would make sense now. It sounds like they tried to negotiate something and finally said, you know what, you guys don't want to help us, or you don't want to come up with.
Well, you can look at that two different ways. One is that maybe they did try to. Maybe you can look this as being like a shakedown. I know as some people will probably try to say it's like, oh, they went to them and like, hey, give us some money and we'll shut up. And they were like, no, we're not going to do that. And then so they brought it to court. Or they legitimately did try to solve this through the proper channels. And either McManus or the Jaguars or both of them were just like, no, we're not doing that. And then brought this up. Either way, here's the thing. One way or another, we'll find out. Baskin-Robbins always finds out. So we'll see what happens. The one thing we did find out is that I said the wrong fucking kicker's name. And I'm going to have to redact that out of the video because I don't want to get sued because I don't have any money. So, I mean, you can't get blood from a stone, but I mean, I don't want to end up in debtor's prison or whatever the hell they do. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, but either way, man, that was going to be a great opening. That was going to be fantastic. And I completely cocked it up. Damn.
I think it's still kind of funny.
It's all right.
You
It's
messing up
all
and not
right.
me.
I'm just gonna have to. I just got to go back and scrub name redacted's name out of this for the whole thing, and remember that it's McManus. I got to get my mix right. As a Mick myself, I should know. But that's I mean, it hasn't been a great stretch here for the NFL in the offseason. You had Rashid Rice twice. You've had this now, and now the thing I just sent to you, it literally came out like just before we came to record.
It's almost like KC every other week they're in the news, and not for the right reasons.
And that's the problem, is that this is another Kansas City. This is another Kansas City case. This was defensive end Isaiah Buggs. He's facing 2 misdemeanor warrants issued by Tuscaloosa police for second-degree cruelty to dogs. Buggs is accused of leaving 2 dogs locked on his property with no access to food or water. So, just another... I mean, listen, I know it sucks to say, like, at least it's not, Michael Vick level shit.
Yeah.
But still not great. Still not great.
I wouldn't say that just yet. There could be more to this. Like maybe it could be a Michael Vick thing.
That's speculation. Now you're just speculating.
Speculation. Yeah,
now you're just speculating.
That's all. But I mean, because like what he got charged with, that's common sense shit. You put food out there with the dog. Now I don't know how other states are, but like Pennsylvania.
All right, but also, like, what's the one thing I mean, I know I've noticed through my time living on this planet for 42 goddamn years. Common sense is not all that fucking common.
Yeah.
So,
but I don't know. Like, this is like smacks you in the face common sense shit. Like, did he forget to breathe? No, because that's common sense. I gotta breathe. I gotta put food.
no, that's not common sense. That's an involuntary reaction. That's
I don't
that's
know.
a
Some people
that's a
out
completely
there-
different thing.
Some people out there might have to think if they have to breathe.
Oh, Jimbo.
But luckily the dogs were taken away. I think the article or the tweet that you put, it said that they were malnourished, but it sounds like they'll be okay. Just keep them away from.
No,
this.
they're not dead. It doesn't, like, again, there's nothing out there. There is zero out there that says these dogs were a part of a fighting ring or were injured in any way like that. Just that they were slightly malnourished, slightly dehydrated, did not have food or water available to them when they were found. And that was that's the extent of what we know as far as a fact right now.
Yeah.
Is that they were on Isaiah Bugg's property, that he has been charged with 2 misdemeanor warrants. He's got 2 misdemeanor warrants now in Tuscaloosa for this, and those were the state of the dogs. So that's what we know. Anything else at this point is speculation. As like what Jimbo's saying, I'm not saying that. Jimbo is speculating,
Just
allegedly,
speculating, that's all.
that maybe there could be some Michael Vick stuff involved. I haven't seen anything that says that. I don't think there's going to be anything out there that's like that until now. But, man, Chiefs almost went 2 weeks. Almost went 2 weeks. Just couldn't make it. Just missed out. But, like...
when you sent that in the chat there with us, this popped in my head. So obviously NFL could suspend players for obviously being arrested for something or allegedly being arrested for something, and the team can be fined as well. Do you think with all these can the NFL fine the team for all these bad news coming out? Without having to suspend the players?
Well, no, I think the players will receive their punishments in due course or whatever, but there might come a point, kind of like when it came with Dan Snyder, that where the owners and the commissioner themselves says there's a lack of institutional control of the franchise. And I don't know if we're there yet with the Chiefs, because right now it was Rashid Rice twice acting like an idiot, and now this thing with Isaiah Bugs. But there hasn't been any, spy cameras in a cheerleader's locker room. There hasn't been any, sexual inappropriateness and or assault happening within the front office. There hasn't been bribery. There hasn't been wide-scale fraud like Dan Snyder was doing, trying to get some of the NFL funds by cooking the books and saying he had more losses than he actually did, and putting all stuff like that. I mean, there was a lot under that Snyder administration. So I don't think Kansas City is anywhere near that. So I don't know how that'll work as far as the Chiefs themselves being fined by the NFL or by Roger Goodell. But, I mean, not a great... just as the Chiefs PR director, this is where you're earning your salary now. Now now you're on it. You got to be like, all right, how do we go at this? How do we got to handle this? Because here's the other thing, too, you got to remember. In this world now, where we are, and social media being so big, if you've seen anything that the Chiefs have posted, everything underneath it is either something about Rashid Rice, something about Harrison Butker, or now it's going to be something about Isaiah Bugs and dogs. You know what I mean? So it's you now have to try to figure out how to navigate the social media world and how to be able to post things and post updates about your team or post a funny video or post something like that and somehow get people to start talking about that stuff and move the conversation along. Otherwise, you're just going to have this stuff under it over and over again. So it's the Kansas City Chiefs, they employ people who hate women and hurt dogs. That's all it's going to be.
Yeah.
No matter what happens. So, like, do you lean into it? Do you, do things like that? Like, I know there's several teams and corporations and social media teams that do that and do it well. I know that some of the best ones out there is like the Devils social media team, the Vegas Golden Knights social media team. I mean, and probably the best one, the classic one, is Wendy's Twitter account is
Yeah.
the undefeated champion when it comes to stuff like this. So it's like there's ways you could do it, but man, that Chiefs PR director. I mean, this is where you got to earn those big bucks. This is where you thought you had a nice cushy job. Teams always winning the Super Bowl. This is easy. Got Taylor Swift here. Like this is the easiest job in the world. This off season. This off season's been rough.
I wonder if he's in a contract year too. Really, a raise.
Well, I don't know. I guess if you're an employee like that, you're just like, listen, either find a way to make this go away or look good or like handle the mess, or we'll get somebody else in here to do it. So.
Yeah. The other thing too, Andy Reid in Philadelphia was known for teaching his players to be professional and act right, basically. And here it is, he was talking about retirement last year. Like, are the players not listening to him as far as the off-field stuff anymore? Are they acting up that because of that, or makes you question?
Well, here's the thing. Like, with the one that is Rashid Rice. I mean, he's the one that was kind of, between what happened down in Dallas and then what happened? His car got stolen in Kansas City? Or no, that was Xavier Worthy's car. Yeah. But he had to, what happened? What was the second thing that happened with Rice?
He supposedly called the photographer back and punched him, and then the photographer.
Oh, that's right, the assault. That's right.
Yeah, the assault.
So there's that, and then this thing with Isaiah Buggs is, again, with the dogs, not great. Could it just be neglect and not like open abuse? Like he wasn't like actively abusing the dogs or fighting the dogs like in a Michael Vick sense, but was, just neglectful and an idiot, Is that more something? And the Harrison Butker thing is really a nothing burger. It's just, people get upset about him saying his one thing. Listen, I will say this right now. Do I agree with his worldview and what he says? Is no. I was raised Catholic. I don't know. I'm like atheist now, I guess you could say. Like, I'm not a big person in that thing. I believe women should have the ability to do whatever they want. I don't, that's not my worldview. It's not.
Yeah.
That being said, I don't think he should be crucified for sharing that view at a university that is a Christian university he got a standing ovation for his commencement speech. You know what I mean? Like, nobody there was offended. It's the people who didn't go to that college, who aren't Christians or followers of that particular worldview that got upset. Well, the speech wasn't meant for you. So, like that is a big that was a big story that got blown up. I don't think it was, as like that's not egregious. That's not like, oh my God, he harmed somebody, or oh my God, like Rashid Rice could have killed somebody in that car wreck. Rashid Rice did assault somebody allegedly. With the photographer situation. Isaiah Buggs did hurt two dogs. Allegedly, for now that we know of. So like that, I think that one story isn't there. But as far as public relations all around, none of it's a great look.
Yeah,
because now you have the media on one side hammering you for Harrison Butker. Now you're trying to get. People are painting you with Kansas City's still employing them. They're a misogynistic organization. It's like, no, they're not a misogynistic organization, and I don't think Harrison Butker is a misogynist. What I do think he is he's a hell of a kicker, and especially now with the new kickoff rules coming in and the way things are going in the NFL, you need a kicker. So they're not getting rid of Harrison Butker. Let's say that right now. Like short of saying like the nuclear option word,
Yeah.
Harrison Butker's going to be fine. He's still going to have a job. That's the same for anybody.
Yeah.
Like they're you're going to need a good kicker at the NFL. So like that's not going to happen. But all of it encompassing, whether it's something legitimately bad, like the other two stories, or whether it's just overall just a bad look, which all the stories are. Just it has not been a great offseason so far for the Chiefs. You'd figure 3 Super Bowls in what, 5 years, three and 4, whatever it was.
Yeah.
They've been to a bunch of them, and it looks like they're reloaded to go again. And, at this point, how do you doubt them? Because even last year where it seemed like they had an off year, they still made it and they still won. And you got, you still have the power of Taylor Swift behind them. And you still have, like the Chiefs are still going to be the Chiefs.
Yeah.
This is not how you wanted to celebrate this offseason. And then let's not forget that they had the goddamn shooting.
Yeah.
That killed the radio disc jockey at the victory parade. So again, overall, this entire offseason, 2024 has been absolute shit for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah. We were talking the bad news with Kansas City. I don't know if you saw Rashid. It's Rice, right?
Yes.
I was thinking Wallace for some
Listen,
reason.
I have
That's
no point to
basketball.
say anything because I said somebody else. I said another kicker's name instead of Brandon McManus as being a sexual assaulter. So again, scrubbing that. You'll never. Nobody who's watching this will ever know who I'm talking about because that is getting absolutely scrubbed from this because don't need it. Don't need it.
He was out in Dallas handing out water, and I guess they got a lot of bad storms down there or something.
Dude, the Midwest has been fucking hammered by tornadoes. I'm a big tornado guy. Always wanted to be a tornado chaser when I was a kid and fly in hurricane hunters. And I just love bad weather, severe weather. Always been a weather nut. But, man, this year's been fucking nuts out there.
And not even just down there, just like everywhere.
That whole Tornado Alley has been so, like, there has been, like, major tornadoes almost every day. Somewhere between Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Nebraska, Kansas, Iowa, Illinois, Ohio, Kentucky, like it's Tennessee. Like there's just tornadoes everywhere over Tornado Alley. It has been a very active, even for Tornado Alley, even for a place that's named for tornadoes. Like they happen all the time. They're always there every year, every spring. That's tornado season. But even for a place that is constantly getting tornadoes, it's been a bit much.
Yeah.
This season has been a lot.
Even just the other day, up in Tamaqua, Pennsylvania, they're still investigating it. But I mean, it was a freaking funnel. It was a tornado.
If you remember, I want to say 6-8 years ago, something like that, over by the Arena Hub Mall, next to the Mohegan Sun Arena there in Wilkes-Barre. Yeah. There was a tornado, ripped right through the whole place. It collapsed one of the buildings there. One of the stores there got collapsed. It ripped the roofs and storefronts off for all the other stuff there. I mean, tornadoes are a lot rarer in the mountains, especially in Wilkes-Barre, Northeast PA, and here in Jersey and stuff. But they do happen. It's been known to happen. And like you said, with the bad storms that have been going through the Midwest and even reaching to the East Coast here, like you said, up in Tamaqua, there was one that they're investigating what probably was. Now, is that because of the roundabouts? Like that one guy on the WNEP said? 16. I don't know. We'll see. That's still one of the all-time classic clips of all time. It's the roundabouts. Everybody's driving in a circle. We're getting tornadoes. I love the way he said that, though. It's the roundabouts that are giving us the tornadoes. God, I love it. Dude, listen, I am a Jersey boy through and through, but there are sometimes I do miss Northeast PA.
So I do want to kind of talk a little bit about the Kylie Kelce clip that came out.
I saw a little bit of that from Barstool, yeah.
Yeah, like this, not even just like this situation, but like we hear a lot about it with wrestlers too, going through airports. Like, guys, listen, when they either say, we're out on a date or something, I mean that, again, I'll use common sense. Leave them alone. When you're going through the airport, they're just getting off of probably an 8-hour flight or whatever. Leave them alone. Say hi. That's it. Walk away. But this dumb bitch, and then I didn't hear this on the video. I heard it on Pat's show today. The girl asked Kylie and Jason for a photo, and Jason said we're on a date, and this woman lost her shit, and Kylie said, "Okay, let's go," and got in her face and was screaming at her, and the girl said, "I don't even know who you are. You asked them for a photo. Why would you ask some stranger you don't know or who they are for a photo?"
She was drunk.
Yeah,
And Kylie even brought it up. She's like, "You're embarrassing yourself. Look at smell the alcohol on your breath.
Yeah,
You're making a
just
fool
ended
out of
there.
yourself." Like, first of all, like I agree with that point. I do agree with that point, and that's the thing. Like, if like I can understand, like, if you're 10 years old, 12 years old, or something, and like you see a football player like Jason Kelce or somebody that you know that is like, "Oh my God, I love it." Like, that's one thing, and but even then, as being there with an adult, the adult should be like, leave them be. They're just out. Don't bother them. Now some are okay with it in certain aspects, and I understand that, and that's great, and that's fine, and I think people do appreciate that when they're able to do that. But along to that point, like when you're at an airport, when you're at a restaurant, when you're just kind of out, like just have some common sense and decent. Now, granted, she was intoxicated, so any kind of common sense filter that she might have had sober was gone. Now, that's not to say she had any sober common sense, but even if she did, it was probably long gone.
Yeah.
So she's like, "Oh my God, there's Jason Kelce. I noticed him from all the stuff that he did with Taylor. Hey, Jason, woo, can I get a picture? Woo!" Something like that. And, the initial put down was not even a put down. It was just like, "No, we're out. We're on a date. Thank you very much, but no."
Yeah.
And that should have been the end of it.
Yeah.
But as here's the thing. I used to be a bouncer, and we hung out a lot in a bar.
Yes.
I mean, the whole premise of this show is us hanging out in a bar talking sports. We've seen people who where something should have been said and then done with at that moment doesn't happen in that moment because of the alcohol that's coursing through their veins.
Yeah.
And that's just what happened here. She was told no, very politely, "Thank you, but not now. This is not the time." And then we got the, "Wow, what do you think?" All right, well, there we go.
Yeah.
And as a lot of people I saw point out, listen, Kylie's a Philly bitch. Don't get it twisted. She's very attractive. She's very nice on all the public things you see about her and everything like that. But she's from Philly.
Yeah.
You don't fuck with a Philly bitch. You don't fuck with a Jersey bitch. You don't fuck with a New York bitch. Like, people who are from the area, people who are from those particular areas, just don't fuck with them. Because they can be nice. And she's, she is the definition of a lady in the streets. Until you push her. And if you want any further proof or any further understanding of that, all you have to do is watch that video and watch Jason. Because what does Jason do when this whole thing starts going down? When it starts getting escalated and she starts losing, does he jump in the middle? Does he try to put a kibosh on it? Does he try to pull her away or anything like that? No. Jason she's got it. Yeah. I know she's got it. I'm fine with it. Because he knows she's got it. Yeah. There's nothing all he would do in there is make it maybe look worse.
Yeah.
Or like somebody would be like, "Oh, look at this big man trying to do something like that." He's like, "I know I don't have to do that because I got a Philly bitch." So,
and on top of that, she's a Philly bitch, and she freaking towered over her. She was like a foot taller than her.
You forget, like, she's an athlete.
Yeah.
She was an athlete. That's what I mean. It's like, the problem is, I think a lot of people only see her next to Jason.
Yeah.
And Jason is like fucking me. He's a fucking gigantic brick shithouse. Only, better shape. And I'm slightly less full of alcohol.
And Kylie, I think, played field hockey, wasn't it?
Right, yeah, which means she's fucking jacked, toned, lean, very wired. She's, you don't fuck with... Listen, field hockey girls, that's another thing I know of 1,000%. Just don't fuck with them. It takes a special level of insanity to play field hockey. I love playing hockey, ice hockey. I'm an ice hockey guy. Yeah. But those field hockey girls, when you're like wearing fucking skirts and you have to play on the field and you have these bitches just fucking whacking you with fucking wooden sticks, you don't have any pads on your knees or on your legs or anything like that. You're wearing a goddamn skirt and you're just getting fucking bang, bang. Like all that kind of shit. The ball is harder than anything. You get hit with that. Like, you got to be a special kind of nuts to play field hockey. So again, this is another piece of evidence into Kylie's little bank there of don't fuck with a Philly bitch. Just don't do it.
I'll give credit to the mayor. I mean, obviously it was a PR move here, but he said, basically that person, hopefully that person doesn't make us as a community look like that we're that type of people, and we would like to have you back for dinner on me, blah blah. I was assuming it was like in Philly, but I guess it was maybe out of state or something.
I don't know. Where was the mayor? Where
it was like
what mayor said this?
It was like Cape Marriott or
Cape Marriott. I don't think the hotel owns a Cape May in New Jersey. That's it, because I've only seen the clips of the video from Barstool, so I haven't really seen.
Yeah, I think he came out with the statement just like a couple hours ago.
Let me see if I can find. I can't. I did like his kind of response to the Harrison Butker thing with Kylie. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, and she told me, I was like, it's okay, just go in his kitchen and make me a sandwich. I was like, and it was hilarious how everybody was saying like he didn't say that to her. There's no way, because he wouldn't be doing the podcast if he said that to Kylie. You know what I'm saying?
But I think didn't Travis even say it to him? Did Kylie hear that? And he's like, I hope not.
Let's see here. Okay, yes. New Jersey mayor apologizes after video shows woman yelling at Kylie Kelce in front. Mayor of an Atlantic County town apologized. Margate. Okay, I know where Margate is.
Yeah, I was close.
Nowhere close. You said Cape fucking Marriott.
Yeah, I got the M at least.
Again, I can't say anything because I started the show so badly, so I can't say anything. This show, you get one reprieve. This whole show is a reprieve show for you. Yes. What his statement was: on behalf of the city of Margate, I'd like to formally apologize to Jason and Kylie Kelce for the experience they had in Margate City over the holiday weekend. As a father with young children, I know as well as anyone the importance of a date night with your wife. I would like to offer a redo date night with dinner on me. Margate City Mayor Michael Collins. That was happening on Tuesday. Popular Philly-based podcast. Short to Instagram. The woman was seen yelling at Kylie Kelce while Jason Kelce watched on. You'll never be allowed in this town again. Which then makes me wonder, who is she?
Yeah,
who is she? Like, was she just drunk saying that, or is she a drunk, like, entitled somebody? Like, is her daddy somebody? Like, or does she know somebody on the city council or the chief of police or something like that? And just be like, I'm gonna say that because well, you'll never be allowed in this town again. It's like, lady, I hate to tell this to you, but the Kelces are a lot more likable than you'll ever be. You know, all of them, even the people that don't like Travis Kelce, will still take Travis over you. Even the people who are tired of Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift and that whole thing. Listen, Taylor Swift can come to Margate anytime she wants. I'll tell you that. Let's have, you can just have a double date. Let's go, But, because, that brings it up, too, is, and maybe this is part of that because Kylie has gotten a little bit more exposure than normal, not only because of the New Heights podcast, but because of Taylor bringing a bigger spotlight to. Now, here's the thing, and I know I'm going to get yelled at by a lot of sports people about this, but we all knew how great and wonderful Jason Kelce was, as not just a personality, but as a football player. Clearly, he's a Hall of Famer, and Travis, clearly a Hall of Fame tight end. Maybe we go down as the greatest tight end of all time, and how important it was. The Taylor Swift spotlight is different though, and the spotlight was a lot bigger, a lot brighter, and shown it to a lot of more different people than normal. So part of me wonders if that was also a part of this. Like, this girl knew Kylie and Jason because of their association with Taylor Swift because of Travis. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So because it kind of seems like that. It kind of this doesn't seem like somebody who knows either Jason or Kylie from the Eagles or watching football every day, or maybe even New Heights. This seems like somebody who knows them because they're the brother and sister-in-law of Travis Kelce. Yeah. Who is dating Taylor Swift, so that's why they know. So that's kind of my thought of maybe where this girl was coming from, and so she was drunk, entitled, thought who she was. But that's the thing, the fame that Taylor has, and you saw this a lot last year.
Not to just say just Taylor. I mean, Amazon Prime, the Amazon Prime documentary that put a lot of eyes on.
That put a lot of eyes on the Kelce too, right? I'm not saying that, but again,
I know
Taylor's spotlight is different. It is. Even with the Kelce documentary, it was watched by people who knew who Jason Kelce was, who watch and follow football, who get that, who already have a general idea.
Yeah.
The Taylor Swift is a different animal. It's a different focus. It's a different light. And I know some people were upset by that because who are these? All these people never watch football. They're not watching football. They're watching for Taylor. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's numbers. It's eyeballs on the screen. That's all that people really give a shit about. But that's it. Her famous is different than a lot of other people's famous. You saw a lot last year. She went to a wedding rehearsal dinner, and there was a mob of 2,000 people surrounding the restaurant.
Yeah.
It was a fucking riot. That's a problem, but she's still able to go ahead and navigate it. People like Jason and Kylie aren't used to that.
At least not yet.
And I'm not saying this is that because it's not even close to that, but it's the first little sign of, oh, you're famous people. Come on, let me take a picture with famous people. And it's like, no, I don't want to do that. It's like, you fucking suck. Yeah, you'll never be in this town again. You don't know what you're talking about. That's that kind of. I think this is their first encounter with that kind of fan experience.
Yeah.
Of dealing with that kind of individual. And that's going to take a little bit to get used to for them, I think. Because I don't know if this is going to be the last time something like that happens either. You know what I'm saying?
Probably not.
And you'd hope it is, and you'd hope a lot of people would learn from that. But people get that alcohol in them; they get a little antsy in their pantsy.
Well, to kind of switch up a little bit here. I mean.
Hard switch, just fucking, not even a segue, nothing. We're just like, that's stopping. Let's go.
We were talking about the alcohol and drinking and shit like that. When the news about Angel Hernandez finally retiring.
You were talking segue about, from how do we go from alcohol? What is the connection between alcohol and Angel Hernandez, other than he made a lot of fucking baseball fans drink?
That, and he had to be on alcohol with some of those calls.
He was just fucking blind. Dude, I've never, first of all, I think I made a tweet about this too. By the way, you can follow us over at ST Sports Podcast. You are at Jimbo ST Sports, and I am at King_ST Sports. You can go follow us all on there. I think I made a tweet about this. Was Angel Hernandez is the greatest living embodiment of how great it is to work within a union.
Yeah.
Because that man should have been out of a job in 1993.
Yeah.
He started Major League umpiring in 1991, and he has been fucking terrible for 30 plus years. He has been atrocious. Every time, I remember watching every game, every time it was a big game or something in the World Series or the playoffs, and you could see it. Like he has made so many bad calls, and I'll never forget. This was a couple of years ago. It was sometime clearly in the last decade, because CC Sabathia was pitching for the Yankees, and Angel Hernandez was umpiring the game, and he had 4 calls. I think he was working first base. Okay. For that game, he had 4 calls overturned by replay. He had 4 calls. And I remember CC Sabathia after the game said, "There is no reason that man should be umpiring in the postseason ever.
Yeah,
ever. He should never be in the postseason." And I'll never forget, what was it? The one time he tried suing Major League Baseball because they didn't assign him to the postseason, and he tried to say it was racism, that they didn't want him there because of he was Latino. Yeah. And Major League Baseball's defense was they rolled in a TV and played the tapes of his calls, and the case was dismissed. Like,
wow.
The man is just, he was bad. Listen. All you need to know about Angel Hernandez is that his retirement was announced, and nobody has said a good word about the man.
No,
not one. All anybody's done is celebrate.
Yep. The best.
I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah, the best joke I've seen so far with this with Angel Hernandez was MLB called him into the office to sit down and talk to him, and he thought it was going to be a contract extension and got pissed off that it was them trying to say you should retire. Got so pissed off, he stormed out of the office, slammed the door shut. 10 minutes later, he realized he was in the closet.
I did see that joke. I did see that. That was funny.
I was like, I could see that one.
But I remember when you see when Ed Hockley retired from the NFL, there were some people who were like, "Oh, he always made bad calls against my team," or just something like that. But most people were like, "Oh man, Hockley, the guns! Oh man, see you later. He was good. I liked him. He was stuff like that." Like I know certain hockey officials when they retire, it's like, "Oh, he's been reffing for 40 years. Oh, he was all right. He did a couple ones, but all right, or he was good, or he was 5 minutes for fighting. Oh yeah, no, I know that guy. He was great." I remember when Red retired from the NFL. He was the one who was first one who ever did the first down.
Oh, okay.
And he retired, and everybody was like, "Oh man, I'm gonna miss him. He was great." Everything like that. Angel Hernandez retired, and everybody's like, "Thank fucking God."
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like that. I've never seen anything like that where it's been a universal relief.
Yeah.
And you know what? And the thing is, like, because it wasn't getting any better. Like when you saw the calls that he was making already this year, where that one pitcher, he threw 3 straight balls and he called them strikes.
Yeah.
Or other people would throw it down the pipe and he'd call it a ball.
Yeah.
What Again, I'm not the biggest baseball guy. I'm not a huge baseball fan. And that's another testament to Angel Hernandez, is me not being the biggest baseball fan in the world. I still knew who Angel Hernandez was and knew he was fucking awful.
The other video I saw, he was umping first base, and ball hit to shortstop or whatever. It was a double play. Tossed it to second base, went to throw it to first. The runner's foot was on the bag, with his front foot already past the bag, coming down, and he called him out. and even the broadcaster was going ballistic over it. I'm like, you didn't even have to see a replay of that. You could see he was safe, but yet
Dude,
this guy.
what about the Bryce Harper one? Where Bryce Harper is at bat, the pitcher throws the pitch, and it's a ball, and Hernandez from third base calls him out for doing a check swing.
Yeah.
And the bat never leaves Harper's shoulder. And the hilarious thing about it is that it was basically the same scenario on the very previous pitch, and Hernandez said didn't swing.
Yeah.
So on one thing, didn't swing. On the next play was the same exact situation at same exact day. Nothing changed, but that time it was swinging here and out. Harper marched all the way up to third base. You're getting thrown out, but at that point it's worth it. And you just see him march up to third base line and just start cursing and screaming him out and down him and you just see Angel Hernandez, I'm start everything. I'm gonna do that. These major league. And listen, it's not just Angel. We've seen it a lot. When the one threw Boone out of the game because the fan behind him said something, and he's like, "I don't care. I heard it. You're out. I don't care." Or the one time where one of the bench coaches was thrown out, and the manager goes up to him. He's like, "What's going on? Who are you throwing out?" And he says, "I don't know. One of them in there said something." He's like, "Who? Nobody in there even said anything. What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
He's like, "I don't care. Pick." She's like, "So you can't even tell me who to throw out? You're telling me that I have to pick who to throw out?" He's like, "I don't care who it is. Pick somebody and toss them from the game." He's like, "But you're the one who's tossed them. Who are you tossing?" He's like, "Somebody in there." So it's Major League Baseball umpires. It seems like they're almost demanding the fact that robot umps come in.
Yeah.
Because it's so bad. It's not just Angel Hernandez. No. Angel Hernandez is the poster child. He's the one that we all see, and now he's gone. But maybe that's the bad thing for the umpires, because now he's gone. Now that big shining light of suck that was Angel Hernandez is gone. Now our eyes are going to adjust and see just how fucking awful the rest of the umpires are.
Yeah. Did you see the Mongo McMichael clip from back in the day? He was singing the seventh.
Yes, I remember that. I actually remember when that happened in 2001 or 2002 or something like that. Yeah, where he was at the Cubs game, and they had everybody come in and sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" at the seventh inning stretch, because that was, I think, right after Harry Carey died, and even before that, he was he was talking shit on Angel Hernandez, and then Angel Hernandez threw him out. He's like, "Get him out of there! He can't be there." It's that's the other thing that's crazy. Because I've seen this in minor leagues and in some clips from the Major League Twos where they throw out a PA announcer, or they'll throw out the organist. Oh, yeah. I saw the one from the minor leagues where the organist started playing Three Blind Mice on the umpire. The umpire threw out the organist. And you're out. It's fuck you. You can't. In what world do you think you have the authority to throw out an organist? For some reason, they do, I guess. I don't know. People subscribe to that, but I wouldn't. Well, what are you going to do? Walk off the game? Fine. Fuck you then. We'll get other umpires. We'll do, have another donut, you fat pig. That's what I would do.
You want to talk a little hockey?
I don't know. We seem to be a sports show, so I would like that. That would be nice. Another great segue that we're doing here. It's smooth as butter here. Again, I can't say anything because I accused a man falsely at the beginning of this episode. So. Calm down. Actually, it was Brandon McManus. I got to get my mix right.
Before we talk hockey, I just saw on the scroller, I don't know how long ago this got announced, but Tyson Fury is having his rematch. I'll wait for it to come back. They have a set date. So it didn't pop up breaking news or anything. That's why I was surprised. But yeah, him and I'm not even going to try to pronounce the other guy's last name, but I would not fuck with either of them.
No, you don't want to mess with the Gypsy King here. Alexander Usyk, I would gather. That's his name. Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury, the rematch. Per His Excellency Turki Alishiki, The rematch will go down on December 21st, presented by TNT Sports. I don't know who Turkey Al-Shik is.
I wonder if they're gonna have it overseas.
Let's see. I don't know. He seems to be some kind of Middle Eastern sheik or something, or
Maybe he's Alexander's promoter.
or oh no, he's a Saudi. He has
Oh,
something to do with Saudi. You know, the Saudis got more money than God. They're just
Yeah.
spending money on everything. So that is the latest. That is, I guess that is technically breaking news as we're catching it here.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, not really. It's like 5 hours ago, from what I'm seeing here. But yes, I'm gonna gather his name is Alexander Usyk. Alexander
I'll agree
Usyk
with you.
versus Tyson Fury rematch is confirmed for December 21st in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. You know, so it should only be about 120 fucking degrees there that night.
Yeah.
But
And the fight will be on at 1 p.m., which is so stupid. I understand they're in different time zones, but I can't watch boxing or even BKFC if it's like in the afternoonish. Like I like to watch.
I'd
like,
rather that than fucking 1 o'clock in the morning.
well,
Which,
boxing.
if it's in Vegas, that's what you're getting. You know.
Yeah. I mean, like
So-
UFC and BKFC, they're like 12:30ish is usually when they're finishing up. But boxing's like that one. I forget which one I was watching. It was like 1:30 in the morning. It finally got done. It's like, holy fuck, man. But going back to hockey.
All right, and one more second,
since-
one more piece of breaking news before it. It's not really breaking, but the 49ers are signing wide receiver Jawan Jennings, 2-year deal worth up to $15.4 million with $10.5 guaranteed.
I wonder how that.
None
affects
for Ayuk yet, but I wonder if is that a sign? Is that a symbol? Is that symbolism? Are they going to let
Since-
go of Ayuk? I don't know.
Well, I mean, the only thing I could think of, because this is only a 2-year deal, maybe they signed him to that deal to free up some space to get Ayuk some money.
I'm interested to see how that works out. The Niners are still, I think, the team to beat in the NFC until otherwise noted. I think the Eagles have a little too many question marks, and I don't see anybody else really close outside of those two.
We'll see about that measuring stick game that the Niners have.
We'll see. Well, I mean, the Niners don't have it. The Jets do. So, that was the whole point of that. I can't say anything. I screwed up the beginning of the show, so I can't say anything. I get it. Anyway, yes, we do have hockey, and we have a good one. Man, I'll tell you what. The Panthers should be up 3-1 on the Rangers right now. I'm so pissed about that Game 3 because a lucky bounce fucking bounced. Like, the Panthers in that Game 3 against the Rangers had fucking, 107 or 111 shots attempted and 50-plus that were actually on goal compared to the Rangers had, like, 40 shots attempted and, like, 28 or 30 that were actually on goal. Like, the Panthers just should have fucking won that game. But Igor Shesterkin stood on his head. Honestly, that game should have been 10-4 Panthers. So I'll give Shesterkin his credit for Game 3. And then last night, you had another overtime game with the Rangers and Panthers. Panthers were able to go ahead and win that one. What was that, 3-2 in overtime?
Yeah.
So now the series is tied up 2-2, going back to MSG. Again, it should have been 3-1. Like I still have to kind of pull back on that, but you know,
I just wonder. I wonder if the Rangers are losing a little bit of steam now. You know, they were pretty much running through everybody.
I'm not going to say that because they still were the best team all year, and they still are ridiculously talented.
Yeah.
And Shesterkin shows that. Like, Shesterkin has been out of his mind. But the game that the Panthers and, to an extent, the Hurricanes also played. Now, the Hurricanes, unfortunately, didn't give the Rangers too much of a test. They did win 2 games. But it seems to be kind of that Southeast hockey kind of thing where it's just pepper. Just pepper them with shots. Shots. Like, they take the whole Wayne Gretzky quote of, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. They take that shit to heart, and they just, they will shoot that fucking puck. And that's why you get, like, games like Game 3, and even last night, where they're just fucking hammering shots. Even if they don't get on net, even if they're not technically shots on goal, like, you're forcing the Rangers to either block shots, or you're keeping Shesterkin on his toes, or they're bouncing off the fucking end boards and rebounding out, and you still have, like, there's just you're constantly keeping the attack up. Shoot. So I think that is maybe a little bit to do with it, and the Rangers aren't quite sure how to handle that yet. Now, again, they've tried being as dirty as possible with Trouba fucking trying to fucking murder people with his elbow again. But never forget, he's the Marc Messier Leadership Award winner, because he's a leader in fucking elbowing people and being a dirty fucking cocksucker. That's what he does.
You know, before the other night, the last one, I was kind of like PK Subban. I like that physicality of it, but it's just coming to the point that he's like, that's his.
I love physicality. Now. I don't like being dirty. Like, I love Scotty Stevens, but Scott Stevens, he would hammer people with his fucking shoulder. Like, he murdered Eric Lindros. Lindros, his career was basically ended by Scott Stevens. But Scott Stevens didn't elbow him. Scott Stevens didn't put a chicken wing out and try to fucking murder him. Lindros went across the blue line with his fucking head down, and Stevens sent him into the next fucking dimension. That's all that fucking happened. Trouba, on the other hand, he's got his fucking arm out trying to decapitate motherfuckers. And this, like I said, this isn't something that's just happening now. It's like, oh, Trouba's dirty. Trouba's been dirty for fucking years.
Yeah.
He's been dirty for years. And yet the Rangers go ahead and named him captain. And I remember when they did, I was like, makes fucking sense. I was like, makes sense that the Rangers would make the dirtiest motherfucker that they got in their team and name him the captain. And then, sure enough, he's captain. And then, who else do the Ranger fans love this year? The kid they called up, who's also a dirty fuck, in Rempe. Yeah. Oh, where's Rempe? We got to have Rempe out there. Oh, Rempe's so good. Rempe's a dirty fuck. How many times did he get... His first 3 games, he got kicked out of. Yeah. And had 5. Like, the Rangers are dirty motherfuckers.
Yeah.
And this year, they seem to be extra dirty. So, I can't, I get that I root against them because I'm a Devils fan, and I always root against the Rangers anyway. Like, you're never going to get me to root against the Rangers. Even if the Rangers were perfect choir boys and lovely and everything like that, I would never root for them. But to sit here and sit there like, oh man, I certainly hope, like, don't you think it'd be good for hockey to have the... No, I don't. Wouldn't it'd be better to have the New York market in the Stanley Cup Finals instead of Sunrise, Florida? Don't give a shit. Because if the product you're going to show people is dirty-ass motherfuckers... I don't want it. I don't want that shit. Good, tough, hard-hitting hockey, sure. Yeah, you throw a couple knuckles. You want to have some fights. You want to have good, hard, physical fucking hockey. Checks into the boards. Good open ice hits where you're not fucking hitting people with your fucking elbows or slew-footing them where you're just kind of going shoulder up, fucking hitting them. Sure. That's the kind of hockey I want to see. But that's not Rangers hockey. Rangers hockey is, let's try to fucking murder some people and see what happens. You know, and again, this is not to say that the Panthers are innocent because they sucker punched Marchand in the last series against the Bruins. So I get it. There's enough dirty to go around. But as far as right now, and especially in these playoffs, I think the Rangers have been far dirtier. But like we said, it's going 2-2 back to the Garden. They play on Thursday night.
Yeah,
that'll be what's coming up. And out in the what is the current state in the West? Is that tied? I think that might be tied.
I don't think it's tied. I think it's 2-2.
I don't think they've played. No, because they played. Game 4 is tonight, I believe. So it's 2-1. Yeah, Dallas is leading 2-1.
Okay.
So, and that's it. Game 4 is tonight, Wednesday, when we're recording this, and this is going to be out on YouTube tonight. So that is the state of that one. Dallas seems like a wagon. Like they kind of got off to a shaky start to begin with. to start these playoffs, and I think who'd they play? I think it was Vegas, the defending Stanley Cup champions. They knocked out first, but it seems like since then they've kind of picked up a little bit of steam. They're playing well. Edmonton, listen, as long as they have Connor McDavid, as long as they got McJesus, they're always in it.
Yeah.
They play well. This is going to be again Game 4. This is in Edmonton, so that'll be. I know the NHL is probably wishing that they get a Dallas, New York final instead of Edmonton and Sunrise. But at the end of the day, it falls where it may. It may end up being all Southern. You might have a Dallas versus Florida matchup here, in which case Canada's going to tune out and bitch and moan and cry and do everything like that.
Yeah.
But I don't care. That'll be fine. It'll be 31 years then since Canada's held the Stanley Cup. And, all the players on the team are connected. It doesn't matter. A Canadian team hasn't had it, so kiss my ass. To anybody from Canada watching, it's not that I don't like you. It's just that I hate your arrogance and the way you think you own hockey, and you don't. So go kick rocks. In basketball, what do we got? The Celtics went and they swept the Pacers.
Yeah. I was hoping the Pacers would pull it out, but once I saw Wemby get hurt, then I knew it was over.
Wemby?
It's his nickname, I think. The superstar from, isn't that it? No?
Wemby is Wembenyama, and he plays for the San Antonio Spurs, who did not make the playoffs this year.
All right.
Are you thinking of Tyler Halliburton?
Yes, him.
Ah, okay. Again, I have no room to say anything. I screwed up the beginning of this show, so I have no room to say anything.
I was just pulling for the Pacers because before the series started, how they were a thousand underdog or something like that, with plus 1,000.
Yeah. Boston was 1,000 plus 1,000 to win the series, and it turned out that was a good bet. Apparently, you weren't going to make any money on it, but I mean that was the bet to make. And honestly, it is Boston. I think it's Boston's title to lose. Yeah. They're built for it. Now, will that happen? Again, the teams that are often you think are unbeatable or should win, that it doesn't always turn out that way. And again, now you got in the West here, Dallas could have closed it out. There could have been a sweep, in which case I think the NBA Finals don't start until June 9th.
Yeah,
so there would have been like a week and a half layoff.
Yeah.
Before, that's fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Actually, there would have been like a 2 week. If Dallas would have won yesterday, it would have been that Sunday. So it would have been a 1 week, 1 week and 4 days.
Wow.
13 days it would have been between the end of the conference finals and the beginning of the NBA finals. That is awful. I get you want to have the set date so it's easier to have like advertisers and money and revenue and all that. I get that. No, that's so bad. That's so bad.
That makes me wonder what is the last Game 7 for, say the Celtics and Pacers won 7 games. I mean, we're on Wednesday now, so probably
I don't
Sunday
know how it was scheduled because I know the NBA kind of sometimes they'll skip 2 days or something like that. It's usually not an every other day. But even if they did every other day, because they won on Monday, right? I think they won Memorial Day. So let's say, because that was Game 4. So today would have been Game 5. Let's say they did every other day. Today would have been Game 5. Friday would have been Game 6, and then Sunday would have been Game 7, which is the second, which means it would have been a full week off before the start of the NBA Finals.
Even then, that's still a lot of time off.
So you're talking about, and then if Dallas goes to full 7, if Dallas and Minnesota goes to full 7, if they do every other day, which who knows if they do or not, I don't know, that would be Monday the 3rd, so that would be 6 days.
Yeah, but still.
So, And that's if that happens, and that's if that's the schedule. I'm not sure let me see what the Dallas schedule is. The Dallas and Minnesota schedule. Or if those are just TBA. No, every other day. You have today. And then they skip to Saturday for Game 6 if it goes to Game 6, and then Monday the 3rd. So instead of doing it that way, where it would have been the 31st, because today would have been Game 5, or I'm sorry, tomorrow would have been Game 5. Instead, it's Friday. Game 6 would have been Saturday, and then Game 7 would have been the 3rd. They're just doing it different. Yeah, how are they doing that? So tomorrow, which is the 30th, right? Okay, so that's what it would have been anyway. And it's Saturday. Yeah. So so it is every other day. So what the fuck was I talking? Oh, I was confusing them with the Boston one. Never mind. Okay. I was like, I thought it was Sunday. No, it's not Sunday. They were always Monday. So it is every other day.
Yeah.
So yeah, so they'll be if that goes 7, it'll still be the 3rd, and that means that they would have 6 days off. But all that still being said, the Celtics are going to have 2 weeks off.
Yeah.
They're going to have 13 days off.
That's insane.
And again, I get it. I get why they do it, because it's better to have a set date. You can sell to advertisers and have that set for programming and get all that. But doing it like sometimes you just got to eat that and just be like, listen, we have to be flexible on when these start, because having something like that where then you have a full 2 fucking weeks where a team is going to be set, and then especially if this series with Dallas and Minnesota goes 7, they're going to have 6 days off, so they're still going to be rested, but they're going to have more work in, and then you're talking about a team that's sat for half a month.
Yeah.
And then they got to go back out there and play. Like, that. If anything, that's a disadvantage. Like, I think that's awful management. That's awful management for the NBA.
You got to worry about you got to worry about rust. You got to worry about injuring yourself now, because you're not really practicing or pushing yourself like you would in regular games while you're off those 13 days or whatever it was. You know, that's gonna be rough.
That's bad. I mean, that's bad. I mean, I am not a fan of that. Looking at that,
and there's it's like if it was like the NFL where they put the Pro Bowl before the Super Bowl, that would make sense. But there's just nothing there. Like, there's no reason to.
Or did they fix it? Hold on. I'm starting to see now. Hold on. Maybe did they move it? Hold on. Because I heard it was June 9th. But now I'm seeing that it's actually June 6th that they would start it. It would be that Thursday, June 6th, no matter what.
Okay.
So it would be 3 days earlier. So, again, I'm not sure where that changed, if that changed, or if I just had bad information on it being on the 9th.
I wonder if the NBA comes out and says the finals will start between June 6th and June 9th, whatever is the first date, depending on the conference finals.
I wonder if there was a change, or if I just, had bad information. It could be I just had bad information, like the way I started the show off. So, again, we're journalists. No, we're not. We're just two. Again, like I said, this is the first ever sports bar talk show. I mean, that's what it is.
Yes.
We're just two guys from the bar talking about sports. Is what we're doing here. So, but honestly, I think that's roughly it. For this week. Again, we're in that time of year, man. It's just nice and done. And this is the last show for me. for the next 2 weeks. I'm going to try to keep updates, but, I don't have any roaming. Going over to the old Europes for the next 2 weeks or so. Going to go to Scotland and then over to Ireland and see the old motherland there in the Isles, visit the Guinness factory, do all that kind of stuff. I say Guinness factory, I mean brewery. That's what I mean. St. James Gate, lovely place. And visit all that stuff. So I'm going to be over there for a bit. The wife wants to go over and see Taylor fucking Swift in Scotland. So,
and King is giving me the keys to the castle here, so
No.
I'll be in charge of.
no, I'm not. You may have stolen some keys, but I'm not giving them to you. I don't know what to expect from that, but we're going to see. So actually, because I think we leave we leave a week from today. So by this time, I'll be up in the air, flying over to the Europes.
Okay.
So I obviously won't be able to do this, but yeah. So looking forward to that. I'm gonna try to have some fun.
You have to keep an eye out for Travis. I'm sure
Maybe he might
over it.
listen. Maybe he shows up. And they love visiting each other. And
The only advice I will give you, in case Jason and Kylie's there, don't ask for a picture.
I'm a lovable, huggable teddy bear. They're gonna love me. They're gonna love me. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. They'll be fine. I'll say hi to Travie too. Hey Travie, how you doing? Let me smell your fingers. Anyway, that's gonna do it for us here on Stay Tuned Sports. As I have to do a lot of editing because I fucked up the beginning of this show so bad. It's so bad. I gotta get rid of it.
Till next time,
yeah.
Mr. good friend Jimbo.
And it's your boy King. Remember your mix, please. Remember your mix.
We're out.